talk about the deployment process and those things. So whenever there is a code change, you have built something you have to deploy in production. So in that scenario, we'll be having two types of deployment. One is minor deployment. And another one is major deployment. Quickly, can anyone tell what is the difference between these two minor and major deployment? The complexity of the components getting deployed. Alright. So we'll talk about that. Minor deployment means you are going to shut down all the services. And only you have built some custom code changes like you have workflows, you have rules, you have some application in that if you are going to make any changes. So those things are called minor deployment. For that, no need to build a WAR file, no need to replace. If it is a major deployment, means you have built some custom report or some customization, big one. You have done that, which includes Java classes, changes and all. So in that scenario, we are going to consider them as a major deployment. So minor deployment means no need to replace the WAR file. So this is an important one. That is the reason. In the beginning, only I mentioned, if it is a major deployment, you have to replace the WAR file. Or else you can consider whenever you are going to deal with Java classes. You are going to build some custom report. Or wherever the Java classes is going to. You are going to compile, decompile each and every scenario. You have to replace the WAR file. Or else no need to replace, just import those files. So we'll talk about that. Rakesh, can you list those examples of which all cases we would need the WAR file deployment? Naming some examples like this change, this kind of change. We'll talk about that. Deployment process, okay. Let's say you have 4 servers. So 2 task servers, 1 UA server, 2. Two tasks, 2 UA servers in your environment. So in each server you have to log in first. First step would be usual process. Only I'll start. So whenever there is a deployment is going to happen, so usually it will happen on the Saturday, Sunday only. Like Friday evening. Friday night to Sunday, before Monday morning. So each activity has to happen. Friday night. Does it require anyone to maintain, or will it happen on its own? Again, that is a true scenario. Sometimes you have to. Manual deployment will happen. And some automation tool we can use. Urban code. Deploy or some other tool. Okay. From the scratch only. For Monday morning. So each and every activity has to be complete. Okay, always. So let's say you have 4 servers. What you'll do basically, first database team will take care of the backup. So whenever a deployment is going to happen, database team, basically they will take backup of your identity, your environment, each and everything. They will take a backup if anything goes wrong, so that they can revert all the changes. First thing. So after that you get an email from the database team saying so, all the backup has been taken, so you can go ahead. In that scenario, after that you are logged into your database, you have to log into all server. For server. And stop. Which services? Tomcat or database? Database. Tomcat is sufficient here. We won't do database services, stop and all. That application, database team will take care. No need to do that just as a Sailpoint perspective. You are supposed to stop Tomcat services on all 4 server. You have to log in, and you have to stop Tomcat services. Is that clear? See, but I have a doubt. Tomcat like we are not. Dev environment. Sorry. Yeah, your voice is cutting. Am I audible now? Yeah. So when we are using a dev environment, we'll be using the dev environment of the company, right? Example XYZ. And Tomcat. If we, like you said, we have to stop, then will it not affect others who are working? No, I'm talking about production. I should be more clear then. So in deployment, we will do it in the production only, right? Yeah. Lower environment deployment. No need to include these things. Directly, we can do the changes. Non-production. Those are the things. This is all about production environment. Okay, so non-production. You can make the changes directly. In dev environment. If it is a test, then you have to get some approval from the test team. Okay. So you have to log into all 4 server, and you have to stop Tomcat services. If it is for server, you can go to Remote Desktop Connection, RDST. You can log in directly, and you can stop the services. Let's say you have 18 server. In that scenario, what will you do? Is it possible to log in one by one? No, will you do that? So what will you do? Any idea? Let's consider, this is one server. So I'll go to Start. I'll go to Services. I'm talking about. These are the manual ones, manual deployment. I'll open this service. I'll click on Stop, which means from this server. I have stopped the services. But like that, I have to log at 18 server and I have to stop. So from my end, it's not possible to do that. In that scenario, what will you do? We have option called Connect to another computer. I'll open that. I'll mention the server name here. Click Connect. So second computer will be added over here. The second server. And same. You can select the services and you can stop. Like that. You can open 18 And you can stop the services. No need to log in separately. So that's an easy one. So just right-click Connect to another computer. You can connect to the other server. And you can, other server services. Is it clear? You will be able to access only the services page. You can use this in real-time scenario if you want. I have a quick question. So is there any company wherein a person can have access of all dev, QA and production? Yeah. Can a developer? Most of the time, test server you won't have. As a developer, you will be having access to dev environment only. But if there is no resources sometimes, yeah. You will be having rare case. So as a developer, I've never seen some developer has production server access. Once in a while, rarely it will happen.